Traffic, looking for my chapstick, feeling kind of car sick. There's a Ford Maverick. What's up, crew? Welcome to day 16 of the 30-day Redaux. My name is John Connie, aka Bigmansyndrome, and I'm in traffic right now on my way to get my infusion. I was actually not sure what the topic of today's video was going to be, but I guess that could be it since there's an airplane flying directly over. Pretty dope. You know, I just said it. My infusion. Today's infusion day, which is once a month right now. And for those of you who've been a part of the channel for a little while, know that I have ulcerative colitis. First time it came up was before I started vlogging. The diagnosis, or like the doctor telling me that I have something, was on my birthday. Went to Pismo Beach, had a really terrible, like half terrible, half great time. Came back, was on medication. That medication worked for a year. And then after I went, it was weird because it was the hardest I was working in CrossFit with Neal. And I was feeling the best I've felt in a long time physically until I started losing so much that all of a sudden I just wasn't able to keep up anymore. Try to get past these shadows. Oh God. What was that last thought? Well, it was just odd that, you know, I had felt the best I'd felt in a long time, but the fact that I was pushing myself so hard caused a lot of stress on my body. And when you are already beating the crap out of your gut, which I've been reading a little bit about, I've mentioned it before, Genius Foods. Research is showing that the gut is actually like your central control. The health of your gut bacteria pretty much dictates the health of your overall body. At the time, I was going really hard in the gym, but I was also going really hard on food. Like, I was not paying attention to what I was eating. I was just kind of YOLOing everything that I put in my mouth. It's been a struggle since then to still get to a point where like I can say no to certain things like donuts. But that was the turning point as far as my illness or my disease or whatever it is. It's an autoimmune situation. Essentially, my gut screaming for help, which is interesting to think about, like to put it into those words. Because most doctors will put it into the words of, oh, you were just born with, you know, a susceptible gut health issue. And a lot of illnesses, I don't agree that it's something that you're born with. It's just the Western diet screwing us up. Rolling, blah, blah, blah. Had that major flare up, as most of you who've been a part of the channel know. Like, you saw the deterioration of my health from like really fit to starting to look pale, starting to look really like low weight. I wasn't eating anymore. I had a major sinus infection from being so sick. All of a sudden I just stopped vlogging. That was vlog, I think, 184, and I was in the hospital for 7 days. Came back with the lost vlog and had a couple more trickling through until vlog 200, where I just said I gotta stop for a minute and recollect myself. And before that last vlog, I had started infusions, and with the condition at that time of my gut, they needed to do a drug called Remicade, which is a higher grade drug. Lialda that I was on was not working, so we had to bump it up. And not only am I on one of the the higher ranked treatments, but it's double the dose and double the frequency. I don't know what the normal dose is, and I don't know what my dose is. Like, I don't need to know that, because that's, what am I gonna look up? All I know is that it's double what it's supposed to be. The frequency is supposed to be once every 2 months. They have me on every month. And here's the tricky part, which is kind of annoying to say on the vlog. I didn't follow up enough with the doctor. I assumed that the doctor was gonna follow up with me. I'm dealing with Stanford, which I've learned is someone that you have to poke. You have to be driving. They have to be like assisting, versus like when I went to PAMF, they would check in on me all the time. I don't like going up to doctor visits, because if I'm literally gonna drive, like Stanford's like a 45-minute endeavor. If I'm gonna go up there and all I'm gonna do is sit down and talk to the doctor, it really doesn't seem like worth it to me, as much as just getting on the phone and saying, hey, I feel all right. The treatment seems to be working. So they finally got in touch with me, or actually more so, they threatened me. They're like, we can't sign off on your medication if you're not gonna check in. And I'm like, what? You're the doctor, what the heck? So I don't know, maybe I need to change my mindset, but I'm gonna go see them next month. And hopefully my goal is to sit down and like try to figure out a better situation. And if they don't want to help me try to figure that out, then I'm gonna look elsewhere. And I don't really like the PAMP doctor. I sound like I'm such a terrible patient, but like they don't seem to be on the same page as me as far as like wanting to try to figure out food versus medication. The Stanford doctor is only a little bit different in the fact that they do feel like there's a little bit of like food can contribute to health, but they still, whenever I bring up the idea of like medicine, they freak out. They're like, no, you can't just stop it. I'm like, I don't want to just stop it. I want to figure out a way to get off of it. So I'm going to do some research on the spare time that I have, which is zero. And I'm going to try to find a doctor that's a little more on the idea of treating with food for the long term. I don't care, like the short term, I just need to feel good. In the long term, I want to be off medication. That's always been the goal. There is one person that I should talk to, and she has ulcerative colitis as well, much higher degree of it, and at one point was off medication completely, just using food as her treatment. And I've mentioned her before. I think what I'm going to try to do is have her on my podcast, which I'm trying to mix in, but it's really difficult to edit that stuff, and I'm not really that good at talking. I'm like, I can ramble, but asking questions to somebody else isn't really my forte. Anyways, I feel like I rambled so much just now, and I have no idea how much time I've recorded. 6 minutes? That's not bad. I think that's gonna be today's video as far as talking and vlogging. I figured I had a lot of time driving to my infusion. I'm gonna be in my infusion for about 2 hours to 3 hours, drive back for another 30 minutes, and then I think I'm gonna work out. What I plan to do, which you've already seen, is edit the video to have intermittent workout sections while I'm talking about this ulcerative colitis situation. And I'm gonna try to edit out the best parts, edit out the bad parts and only keep the best parts, so that it makes sense, or at least is potentially interesting for you. So let me know if it was interesting down in the comments. Let me know if you struggle with anything, or what your thoughts are on this whole matter. It's been a weird situation. Remicade has definitely helped, but I can tell it's one of those, I've said it before, it's one of those band-aid treatments where today I'll get it, tomorrow I'll feel amazing, and then at the end of the month I'll probably have like a couple different symptoms. Like a couple days ago I felt some symptoms. Definitely want to get off medication, but I need to check myself before I wreck myself. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, a joint of the crew. And if you're not new, tap and go that like button, leave a comment, share this video. Those are the things that help grow the crew. And until tomorrow, I'll see you later, crew. I don't know why I'm singing. Also not sure if she'd be a daily grind person, or if I should come up with a new podcast that is for the crew. And I guess I should just call anything that's not business related. Just call it the Crew Podcast. I don't know.